Today's November 18th, 2025. And I had a realization today. So, see, look. Okay. I got some, decking across the top. And I got a rail up there. And so the structure of this thing, what I realized is that in the very middle, which is kind of like over there where my A-frame ladder is, I have, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that a channel going up right there in the middle. And it just so happens that structure that I've been, I wouldn't say haphazardly making, but kind of making it up as I go. All right, just actually is forming into a T, which is the first letter of my name. All right, and not only, but what I discovered is, look, okay, I don't know if you can see it. What I discovered is, like, it's not daylight, I can't really show it all that good, but what I discovered is that it's forming a T. But not only a capital T, okay, because I'm thinking about bringing it out like that way more for the, like the one part that comes out of the T, and then you got the cross, and then you got the T. Okay, a T is also actually like a cross. All right, but the T is capital T and lowercase t. And I discovered, okay, that I was gonna like bring out my support from the middle and just make it like a T, not like a box. All right, and that is like going into battle. You have your shield. It's like a T. You got the middle part, and then to go out like that, and it's like a T. But on the upward side, going up, see, going up, I have to make it like a lowercase t, because in the middle it's coming up. It's going to go up, because I realized, no, man, that thing is sturdy enough. I need to take that thing another 16 feet up, or maybe 8 feet. Okay, no, 8 feet. 8 feet would be better, because 16 feet would be like a plus sign. All right, 8 feet is more like a T, which a T is like a lowercase t is similar to a cross, but a cross don't go up so high at the head as a lowercase t. And so, and what that did for me is that realization right there of a continued kind of plan of action, which is just kind of a synchronicity, because it's not like I started out like wanting to make a T or anything. It's just saying this thing kind of just formed like a T as I was making it up as I go. And that's like a synchronicity, because my name starts with T. And I never really thought about that before. I never gave any kind of special kind of meaning to just because like a T is special, okay? Like I know a T is like one letter in the alphabet. And even I'm talking about the lowercase t is actually the one that's going up. The uppercase T is the one that's going out, and it's more like my defense. And on the other side, I'm going to put my defense, my political defense. But on the inside, I'm going to say climb every mountain. And I got my brace up there now, somewhat. I'm working my way through, as you can see. All right. And tomorrow in daylight, I'm gonna make a little bit more progress. And I already got some of my plywood already primed. In fact, I don't know, see? Okay. And plus, I got another sheet over there. Over there. And look, there's a little banana tree. And I got the middle piece over there. See, got the middle piece to go up there. And, hey, and then for my climbing wall, it's gonna go right up through the middle right there. Just a little bit over to the side of the light right there, okay? Straight on up is gonna be the pathway up to the very high top. And that's gonna be another 8 feet. And when you get up to that point right there, in fact, you know what? Look, I'm gonna put this thing on pause. I'm gonna go ahead and climb up this thing. I'm gonna show you like what it is like. All right. All right. Now, look. So way down there is my truck. And dark, but look. Okay. Well, hey. You can't see nothing behind me, it's too dark. And now my light down there. I don't know. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna sit down right here. Okay, finish this here. Let's hear a note in my journal entry. Okay, because look. Like alright, let's see. Hey. I'm pretty high up here now. Look, like if you, I don't know. Alright, look, I don't know if you can see the road. Alright, but in the daytime plus, when I'm up here now, because I've been up here before. Okay, obviously I've been up here before. Alright, but, I mean, I'll be doing a lot of work from up here now. And the thing is, when I look down, okay, now, you see, when these cars go by that have, like, sun resistant, dark shade, so you can't see into the vehicle. And you know, even like I don't really like it because I've been inside a vehicle with dark shade like that before. Kind of sucks if you ask me. But for some reason, you know, especially cops and criminals, cops and criminals both, they like to have shaded windows so you can't see in their vehicle. But when I'm up here, when I look down, there ain't nothing hidden from me, okay? I'm seeing right in, I'm seeing who's inside of that vehicle. And that gives me a sense of power. And I ain't gonna be messing around with bullshit no more of not knowing what the hell is actually, you know, plotting around me. Stuff like that. And who's driving down my road where I live. Because I'm protective of my hair. I'm protective of not only myself and my property, and my territory. So, well, look, I can look at my garden. Yeah. So anyway, look, the thing that comes to my realization, which I felt really pretty much grateful about, is the fact, okay, even though I've been having pain, like, you know, like when I wake up in the morning, you know, like I'm actually like in pain, all right? Like, because my back is, look, I've already had like a couple surgeries, 3, matter of fact, on my neck and my back. And it's getting old is not for sissies. All right, but I was also thinking, okay, even though getting old is not for sissies, Being born is not for sissies either, because you have to do exactly what I'm doing right now, climbing the mountain. And you might even have to build your own mountain to climb. That's what Albert Einstein did. And all my captains anyway, Jesus Christ, Albert Einstein, Sun Tzu, and the Buddha. And also, now I have put also into the category Albert Einstein. I might have said him already. And then Stephen Hawking, he did a lot. And there's many other ones, but just to set a time frame, like between Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking, a lot happened. And like the hydrogen bomb and all that kind of stuff. And now it appears, like we could be at the brink of destruction. And look, I don't know if you can see it, but look, my cross is over there. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I don't think you can see it, but you might be able to. But I can see it. And my cross, I can look right down on that thing. And part of it is fading away, even though I seal coated it with epoxy. But it's all right. But the most important parts are still there. And like the one most important part is, if you come on my property with not only ulterior but malicious and malevolent, intentions, that I'm gonna put my scope on you and blow your mother humping brains out. Yeah, I ain't messing around no more. And I'm already too old, man. I don't have to mess around no more. But I have to live for my dogs. And the other thing is, now I am in touch with at least one of my children, of my 3 children, and I know about his granddaughter. Well, I gone a little bit off track. The bottom line and the point that I really needed a document for my realization when I realized about how I was constructing something that looked a lot like a T, which is the first letter of my name, uppercase and lowercase. When I realized, the lowercase is the one that's going up, all right? The uppercase is the one that's going out. And that is a synchronicity, because going out is like a protective shield. Going up is lowercase, because you ain't going up if you're not going up lowercase. We're all dispendable. Yeah, dispendable. We're all dispendable. And sometimes it does seem like we don't matter. But I felt like I'm getting a little bit of reprieve, like I don't have to die so soon, because I might at least be given enough time to finish my purpose. And it's just a simple little sign, almost like from heaven for me, that actually this thing falling out like a letter T. And now I have even more of a kind of vision, okay, that I can work for, because it not only has to do with a better support and structure for a framework that is going to be able to stand the hurricane, because like I already said before, I know there's a hurricane coming, and I've been given a lot of thought about the fact that, I might build this thing out, and it might actually save my house from getting crushed when one of the trees decide to fall, or a tree on the other side of the road decides to fall. But I don't think it can make it through the canopy from the other side of the road if these 2 trees don't fall in front. But you never know. You never know. Because there is that story about that little boy or girl. I read it as a little boy. It could be a little girl too. I don't know, but it don't matter. But put her finger into the little part where the water was coming out of the dam. It was protecting the water from flooding the city. And if she just stick her finger in that hole, then it would have been compromised and eroded more and more. and the dam would have burst, and the whole city would have drowned in water. And she did that. She saved the city by putting her finger in the hole. Or him, boy or girl. And so it is with me. And so it is with you, my grandchild, because sometimes it only takes one little spark to get a fire flaming. Alright? And one little finger to stop the erosion of the dam protecting the city against the water. And I don't really know how that relates to me, but I'm doing my part and I'm making a point, and I just feel like maybe I have a little bit more purpose in completing my mission. And the fact is, like, I kind of believe like my mission has kind of now been a little bit authorized from on high, so that I have a little bit of a reprieve that I can last a little bit longer. Because after all, I mean, we are dispensable, every one of us. We're all gonna die. And I've been having these pains like in my chest, and plus when I wake up in the morning, you know, it ain't till later on till I start moving around that I actually can get out of my back pain. And it's like that saying, you know, body in motion stays in motion, or something like that. Once you lose your motion, man, it's like losing your mojo, losing your life force. And people without heart die. And so even though the mosquitoes that were up here swarming me just a second ago, they kind of quit now. It's kind of nice being up here. This is the first one. Look, it's really cool, man. Look. I would stand up. You know what? I could stand up. All right. Oh, jeez. What? See? I'm out of limber. Now this is like really high. It's pretty high up here. Well, okay. I mean, it's like, okay, like I'm standing, my feet are elevated off the ground at least 16 feet, because my 4x4 pillars are 16 feet, and they don't go into the ground. I have other ones going in the ground, and then I have it added on the top for my rail here, and this is going to also be my extension going up, like my lowercase t. And then my other part is frustrated. This thing on the base is going to be like, you know, a capital T, and it's going to give it strength. It don't have to be like a box. And I did also give a little bit of thought, you know, to my, like, I don't know, my children at least. I mean, you know, like, okay, Adam is A, that's a good structural kind of framework. Amber is an A. Isaac is an I, that's also a good structure, like an I-beam. And now I know my daughter, my granddaughter, her name, it also starts with A for Arden, and that's good structural kind of support name. Letter. And also names mean things. And, but, you know, for me, it's just a synchronicity. It just so happened that this thing that I started working on for purposes that unfolded as I took one step at a time and made it up as a go. Look, truck. That's Amazon. Okay, lowercase. So that's it. Now I got to show what it is. First time I got it this far. And now I got my plywood down there for my sign facing my house. It's gonna say climb every mountain. And then after I finish the internals, I'm gonna work on the external shell a little bit more. Or whereas when I'm gonna, be talking about, probably dildos and dung butter. And then a special letter, from my parents. I might put the preamble of the Constitution. And reference the Declaration of Independence, because the dung butter is for all the dildos that the government want to try to cram up our butts. But I have now also good hope, because recently I've seen South Park and Simpsons are really doing a good job, because South Park is talking about, now they're talking about the Antichrist, and they're putting it in terms of this administration, and the butt baby from Donald Trump. Okay, and Simpsons, and I've been seeing, the Simpsons, they've been doing work for a long time, and they actually talk about stuff that has actually kind of been proven to be prophetic, and that's a fact. So, but I feel a little bit more hope now on multiple fronts. The front, of my synchronous realization about this is what it is I'm actually doing, and maybe having a little bit of reprieve to go forward a little bit more, and oh, good Lord, give me a little bit more time maybe to actually do something. And also, the pathway again, on the way up is lowercase. On the way out, uppercase, at least for me. On the way up, it's lowercase. And that's the way it's got to be. Yeah. I'm just going to call this one lowercase up. Because here comes our car, look. All right, that's it.